everyone, and welcome back to the Sideline Eye podcast. This is our first championship review show of the season, and we're looking back at the first round of the junior championship. There was 8 games played across the four groups of the junior championship, so we're going to take it group by group and look at each game. So we'll start with Group One, and on Friday night, both these games took place on Friday night, and it was Redmond O'Hanlon's who upset the odds and pulled off a stern win over Ballyhagan on the opening night of the Armagh Football Championships. In a game which ebbed and flowed, Darragh McNulty and Adam Canavan were the standouts for the victors, combining 1-11, including scores at key times. The visitors got the opening 2 points via Rory McGreen and James McCann, but Redmond O'Hanlon's grew into the game as the half went on and they rattled off 1-7 without reply during a purple patch. Ryan Cookson got the run started before McNulty hit two 2-point frees in quick succession. McNulty followed that up a moment later by finding the back of the Ballyhagan net after a botched short kick out. With Aidan Gallagher sent to the subs bench after receiving a black card for a trip, points passed were well on top and further scores from Canavan and McNulty had them 8 points to the good. Ballyhagan got a second wind, however, and hit 5 scores on the spin, with 2 before half-time and 3 afterwards. Kevin McCann and Aidan McGreen hit 2 each, while Rory McGreen also added to his tally. With Ballyhagan applying the pressure, Canavan really stepped up for the home side and hit 3 points in a matter of minutes to wrestle back control, but Ryan McQuaid and Aidan McGreen answered for Ballyhagan. The away side then hit a purple patch of their own, hitting 6 points in a row to go from 4 down to 2 ahead, with McCann nailing a 2-point free, Aidan McGreen scoring a 1-pointer, and Paul Nixon hitting 2, while Paul McCann opened his account as well. O'Hanlon's looked to be out of steam, but they won a penalty, which Padraig Maguire converted with 8 minutes to go, and they never lost their lead from that point on. They found a second win themselves, with McNulty, David Hudson and Stephen Daly firing over scores, and while Aidan McGreen did his best to pull Ballyhagan back into the contest with an outstanding 2-pointer from 50 metres out, it wasn't enough. The visitors had one last chance in stoppage time to win the game when they trailed by 2 points, but McQuaid hit the crossbar with a palmed effort and points pass went down the other end and scored to hold on for the victory. Also in that group, then Middletown picked up an opening day win in the junior championship as they saw off the Sunderland by 10 points. 2 first half goals from the visitors put them 6 points to the good at half time. Middletown held a 2-6 to 0-6 advantage when the half-time whistle sounded and extended that by full time. 2 first half goals from midfielder Charlie Lennon were key, and he finished with 2-1 on the night. Finan O'Brien was the other goal scorer, and he bagged his major in the second half, and he was the main man up top for Middletown, grabbing 1-6, while Sean McGuinness hit 0-5. Johnny Traynor, Terry McCann and Paddy Lynch all claimed 0-1 as well. For the Summon, it was Shane Mackle who carried the fight, clipping over 3 2-point frees. Michael McCaffrey raised 3 white flags. Shay Traynor claimed 0-2, while Stephen O'Brien, Michael Robinson and Garrett Rafferty all split the posts as well. So Group 1 then, as we look at the league table, it's Middletown who are out in front due to their score difference. O'Hanlon's are in second place, Ballyhagan third, and the Summon, they're on fourth spot with a lot of football still to be played before the final group standings are decided. We're going to hear from Adam Canavan now. Kieran Lynch spoke to him for Armagh TV after their win over Ballyhagan. So we're going to hear from Redmond O'Hanlon's midfielder, Adam Canavan.
So we're here with Adam Canavan from Redmond O'Hanlon's Points Pass. Adam, it's a great game to watch for the neutral. I'm sure it's a great game to play in, and obviously a great result. You must be pleased with that.
It wasn't too bad. It's what we expected. We just knew that Ballyhagan would be coming down here and thinking that maybe walk over us, and we knew all this week that there was going to be an upset going to happen, and it ended up happening, so we're delighted.
Looks like you had a bit of a siege mentality, especially here on your home patch, that you weren't going to back down.
Well, we were 6 up at half time and then went 2 or 3 down against that down the hill in the wind on the second half, and then we just knew that was going to happen, so we planned for it, and then thankfully the boys kicked on. Subs made a massive difference, and that's it. We've struggling for numbers all year, and the boys to bring off the bench is massive for us.
Yeah, and you mentioned it there. Look, 6 points up at half time. Was that the message you always felt Ballyhagan were going to come back at you in the second half?
Oh yeah, we knew that. Sure, they're always thereabouts by the end of it, so we knew they were going to be a tough team, but without Peter McGreen or James McCormick, we knew that we had a chance today, and thankfully we took it.
And look, as you mentioned, Ballyhagan, they went 2 in front. I actually said on commentary, it looked like you're fading out of the game, but you just seem to find a second win from somewhere. What do you put that down to?
To be honest, I don't know. The first half, the start of the second half, we couldn't get the ball. They were just hunting us down, getting the ball, hitting 2-pointers, and then I don't know, something switched. One of us had a score over there, and then the penalty just changed it all, and that's gave us the build on just to kick on, finish out the game.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, it's obviously a group format for the championship, but now you have something really to build upon going into your next 2 matches.
Oh yeah, we have Middletown up in Middletown next week, which will be an even tougher task, especially with all the hurlers back. So we'll just have to get back on Monday night and see how we get on then.
Yeah, well, great stuff. Well played tonight.
Thank you.
Good man.
So moving on to Group 2 then, and Crossmaglen Seconds came from 7 points down at half-time to claim a hard-fought 2-point win over Killeavy Seconds. Both sides raised a pair of green flags on the night, with Killeavy Seconds claiming 2 in the first half, while Cross Seconds hit 2 in the second. Andrew Cunningham and Connor King hit the 2 first half goals, which saw Killeavy ahead at the break 2-6 to 0-5. Cunningham finished with 1-2, while Mark Goldman claimed 0-4. Jack Collins, Remy Taggart and Robbie McAteer all struck 0-1 as well. Goals from Jack Crummy and Bernard Cassidy got Cross Seconds right back into contention at the start of the second half. Scores from Crummy and Johnny Murta saw the Rangers 2 clear at the end. Murta finished as the top scorer on the night, and he contributed 0-7 of Crossmaglen's their seconds tally. Crummy claimed 1-3 on the night, with the other goal coming from Cassidy, while Sean Hand also nailed a score. Thomas Davis opened their championship account with a comfortable victory away to Mullabrack on Friday evening. A second half surge from the visitors saw them pull away in the end. 3 points was the difference when the half-time interval arrived. Thomas Davis had their noses ahead at the break, leading 0-5 to 0-2, but pushed on after the team swapped ends in the second period. Ryan Murphy and Colin McGivern grabbed 2 points apiece for Kevin Murray's side, while Joe Fields also got in on the scoring act. But it was all about the goals in the end, and 3 in the second period secured the win for Thomas Davis. Adam Lahern top scored on the night, and he finished the game with a tally of 1-6. Thomas Davis captain Jordan King also hit the net and contributed 1-3, while Danny O'Neill also raised a green flag. So that's Group 2, and Thomas Davis are currently leading the way at the top of the table, with Cross Seconds in second place at the minute. Killeavy Seconds are third, while Mullabrack are in fourth, and after just one round, there's still a lot of football to be played before they're decided. On to Group 3 then, and we have Ogue, who opened their junior championship account with a 6 points away win over Darcy on Saturday evening. 2 second half goals from the Craigavon men allowed them to hold their hosts at arm's length heading into the final quarter. Ogue grew their advantage to 6 at the start of the second period, having led by 3 at half time, but a brace of 2-point frees from Michael McVerry and Aidan Mackin narrowed the gap for Darcy. Again, Ogue stretched ahead, but Darcy continued to battle back, and a Peter McGeown goal kept them in touch. Ogue steadied the ship in the last quarter and saw out a deserved 6-point win. The first score of the day was a palmed Christopher Larkin goal set up by Henry Murphy, and that put Ogue ahead by 4 after 14 minutes. Converted frees from McVerry and Mackin ensured Darcy were never too far away, but Ogue led 1-5 to 0-5 at the break. Mackin and Ben McConville swapped scores at the start of the second period before Jake Walsh fired home a second goal for Ogue. 2 pointers from McVerry and Mackin closed the margin to just 2 points, but another goal, this time from Murphy, restored Ogue's 6-point advantage. Chris Larkin grew it out to 7 by the 45th minute mark, but a brilliantly worked goal by McGeown kept Ogue on their toes. McVerry fired over his 6th point of the day, but 3 in the bounce from Ogue saw them push 6 ahead once again. Jason Lennon grabbed a point for Darcy, while Owen O'Hagan did likewise at the other end. Tristan Moore and Martin Hurdy also traded scores, as did Jake Walsh and Aidan Mackin, to see Ogue 6 ahead when the full-time whistle sounded. Division 3 League winners on Portmore survived a scare in Newtown on Saturday evening, and they came away with a 3-point win. A second half goal from Finian McKenna was the deciding score in the end. St Michael's, led by the likes of Paddy McVerry and Aidan Davison up front, shot out of the traps in the first half. They were 4 points in front when the short whistle sounded, leading 0-9 to 0-5 on home turf. The hosts were left through some missed opportunities in front of the post during the second period. They were 2 ahead when McKenna struck the game's only goal, and on Portmore saw out a 3-point win from there. That group then are Ogre ahead in the number 1 spot, on Portmore are second, third are St Michael's, and Darcy find themselves at the bottom at the minute in 4th place. Moving on to Group 4 then in the Junior Championship, on a haul of 3-2 from attacking half-back Sean Quigley helped Clonmore pick up a first round win over Clady, 3-18 to 2-6. 15 points separated the sides when the full-time whistle sounded, with both teams raising green flags in the opening half. Clonmore were comfortably in front heading towards the half-time break when Clady bundled home 2 goals. Sean Savage and Cian Connolly both raised green flags, with Clonmore 1-12 to 2-2 ahead at the half-time interval. Quigley stepped up to blast home a penalty at the start of the second half and netted for a third time as well in the second period. James Grimley and Cahill Cunningham were the other 2 main men up front for Clonmore. St Peter's Seconds made a winning start to the Junior Championship as they saw off Killian with 14 points to spur, 2-15 to 7. The Lurgan men held a 5-point advantage at half-time and stretched it out by the time the full-time whistle sounded. Colin Fern bagged a goal during the opening period, and that saw St Peter's ahead 1-6 to 0-4 at half-time. The side swapped scores at the start of the second half, with Owen McCormick and Conor Donnelly raising white flags. St Peter's claimed a second goal before the finish, with Callum Wilson finding the net this time around. The Whites kicked 4 of the last 5 points of the day to secure an opening round win. It's Clonmore who sit top of the Group 4 group, with St Peter's just behind them in second place. Killian are third, while Clady sit in 4th position at the minute. So that's our roundup of the opening round of the Junior Championship. There's loads more action coming up next week as the Senior and Intermediate Championships get underway, and round 2 of the Junior is also next week. So there'll be loads on all our social media pages. There'll be previews, interviews, articles, match reports, and everything else. And of course, a couple of more podcasts. We'll hopefully be previewing the Senior and Intermediate Championships on Thursday, so keep an eye out on all our social media channels and follow us on Spotify and YouTube if that's where you get your podcasts. So thanks everybody for tuning in, and we'll see you all on Thursday.
The 2025 season is here, and with it comes huge ambition and momentum, both on and off the pitch. We're building for the future, investing in top-class county training facilities to support our players and county teams. Thanks to your support, we've already made incredible progress, delivering 2 full-size grass pitches. Now, work is underway on a brand new strength and conditioning hub. But we're not stopping there. This is a game-changing time for our county, and we need your support to take it to the next level. Join us in building a brighter future for our teams, our players, and the generations to come.